First Contact's Price. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Ganymede Research Station, her eyes fixed on the strange objects emerging from the darkness of space. The research station's advanced sensors had detected them 3 hours ago. 7 crystalline vessels, each the size of a small city, approaching with deliberate purpose. Dr. Chen, we're receiving a transmission, announced Marcus Rodriguez, the station's communications officer. His voice carried an edge of uncertainty that made Sarah's stomach tighten. After 15 years of searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, humanity's first contact was about to begin. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a being that seemed to be made of living crystal and light. Its voice resonated through the station's speakers, translated by their AI systems in real time. "We are the Nexus Empire," the being announced, its tone carrying neither warmth nor hostility. "Your species has been observed since you first began broadcasting signals into space. The time has come for your evaluation." Sarah's hands gripped the railing tighter. Humanity had dreamed of this moment, but something in the creature's voice filled her with dread. "I am Dr. Sarah Chen, lead scientist of Earth's Ganymede Research Station. We welcome peaceful contact with your civilization." The crystalline being's form shifted, creating patterns that their sensors interpreted as expressions of amusement. "Peace is earned, Dr. Chen. The galaxy operates on principles of order and strength. Lesser species must prove their worth or accept subjugation." Before Sarah could respond, the station's sensors screamed warnings. Energy readings from the alien vessels spiked to unprecedented levels. Marcus's console erupted with alerts. "They're scanning everything. Our databases, defense systems, planetary infrastructure. They're just walking through our best encryption like it doesn't exist." The Nexus representative's form pulsed with new patterns. "Your technology is primitive. Your defenses are inadequate. Your species exists because we have allowed it. You have 6 Earth months to prepare your world for integration into the Empire. Resist, and we will demonstrate true power." Sarah's mind raced through possibilities. Humanity had achieved remarkable progress. Quantum computing, fusion power, early colonization of the solar system. But against these beings, it all seemed painfully inadequate. "What are your terms for integration?" "Reasonable ones," the being replied. "Your species will serve as labor and research subjects. Your resources will fuel the Empire's expansion. Those who prove useful will be elevated. Those who resist will be removed." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the station in stunned silence. Sarah turned to Marcus, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Send everything to Earth Command. Every scan, every word, every reading we got from their ships. Humanity needs to know what's coming." As the crystalline vessels disappeared into fold space, leaving only the cold stars behind, Sarah felt a weight settle onto her shoulders. They had 6 months to prepare for an impossible war against an enemy that viewed them as little more than useful insects. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that Earth had been preparing for this moment for longer than anyone suspected. Deep beneath the surface of humanity's apparent technological level, a very different truth lay waiting to be revealed. The next 6 months would change everything. Not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. The Nexus Empire was about to learn a crucial lesson about underestimating a species that had evolved through countless challenges and emerged stronger each time. Because while the Empire saw primitive technology and inadequate defenses, they'd missed something crucial. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to innovate, and to surprise those who thought they had them figured out. Continued in Part 2. The Silent Preparation. The Silent Preparation. General Maya Patel stood in a chamber that officially didn't exist, a kilometer beneath the Himalayas. Around her, holographic displays showed the status of humanity's best-kept secret, Project Prometheus. "The Nexus Empire gave us 6 months." She addressed the gathered military and scientific leaders from Earth's Unified Defense Council. They expect to find a primitive species scrambling to prepare for the inevitable. Instead, they'll find something very different. The central display activated, showing a massive underground facility extending through a network of caverns. Within its depths, rows of advanced ships sat waiting, vessels that incorporated technology far beyond what humanity publicly displayed. 30 years ago, we recovered a crashed scout ship in the Atacama Desert. Maya continued, her voice echoing in the chamber. Its pilot was dead, but the ship's database contained something invaluable. Warnings about the Nexus Empire and their systematic conquest of developing civilizations. Dr. James Foster, head of quantum technologies, stepped forward. That discovery accelerated our research by centuries. We learned to manipulate quantum fields, developed zero-point energy systems, and created defensive technologies that the Empire won't expect. But we kept it all hidden, maintaining a facade of normal technological progression. The displays shifted, showing simulation after simulation of battles against crystalline ships, similar to those that had appeared at Ganymede. We've been preparing for this confrontation for 3 decades, Maya explained. Every public advancement in technology was matched by 10 secret ones. Every visible military installation has 50 hidden counterparts. But why maintain the deception? Asked a newly elected council member. Why not show our strength immediately? Maya's expression hardened. Because the Empire doesn't just conquer, they adapt. If they knew our true capabilities, they'd arrive with overwhelming force. Instead, they'll come with what they think is enough to subjugate a primitive species, and that's when we'll show them humanity's real power. The next several hours were filled with detailed briefings. Quantum shield generators being secretly installed throughout Earth's colonies, fleets of advanced warships hidden in dimensional pockets, weapons that could disrupt the very fabric of space-time. As the meeting concluded, Maya received an urgent message from their deep space monitoring network. The Empire wasn't waiting the full 6 months. Their invasion fleets were already mobilizing. They're testing us, she announced to the council, pushing to see if we'll break under pressure. Initiate Stage 1 of the Prometheus Protocol. It's time to wake up our sleeping giant. Across the solar system, hidden facilities hummed to life. In the depths of Mars' Valles Marineris, enormous hangar doors began to open. Beneath Europa's ice, quantum reactors powered up. Throughout the asteroid belt, automated defense platforms shed their camouflage. Humanity had spent 30 years preparing for this moment, building strength while appearing weak. The Empire thought they were dealing with a primitive species barely capable of interplanetary travel. They were about to learn that appearances could be deceiving. As Maya watched the activation signals streaming in from across the solar system, she thought about the Empire's arrogance. They assumed that humanity's visible technology represented everything they were capable of. They never considered that they might be seeing exactly what humanity wanted them to see. Send word to all Prometheus sites, she ordered. Full combat readiness in 72 hours. And get me a secure channel to Dr. Chen on Ganymede Station. It's time she learned what we've really been doing out here in the darkness between the stars. The Empire had given humanity 6 months to prepare for subjugation. Instead, they were about to face the full force of 30 years of hidden advancement, powered by the determination of a species that refused to kneel. The silent preparation was over. The real war was about to begin. Continued in Part 3. Breaking Point. Breaking Point. The Nexus Empire's first strike came without warning. 3 months into their 6-month ultimatum, their crystalline warships emerged above Mars' colony, weapons charged. They expected an easy victory, a demonstration of power to break humanity's will. They were wrong. Commander Elena Santos watched from the hidden command center deep within Olympus Mons as the Empire's fleet moved into attack formation. On her neural display, she could see the status of Mars colony's apparent defenses, the ones the Empire could detect. And beneath them, the real ones. All Prometheus units maintained stealth protocols. She broadcast through quantum-encrypted channels. Let them think they're winning. Let them get closer. The Empire's initial barrage destroyed Mars colonies' visible defense platforms in seconds. Their ships descended through the thin Martian atmosphere, energy weapons cutting through what appeared to be the colony's best shielding technology. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Now, quantum fields rippled across the Martian surface as hidden installations revealed themselves. The Empire's ships suddenly found themselves caught in a complex web of gravitational distortions, their advanced drives struggling against forces they'd never encountered. "This is Commander Santos of the Earth Defense Force," she broadcast on all frequencies. "You were warned not to underestimate humanity." From underground hangars across Mars, humanity's true warships emerge. They were sleek, dark vessels that seemed to bend light around them, incorporating technology reversed engineered from that crashed scout ship and advanced far beyond it. Their quantum shields shrugged off the Empire's weapons like rain. The battle for Mars lasted exactly 17 minutes. When it was over, the Empire's attack fleet had been completely neutralized, their crystalline ships either captured or reduced to drifting fragments. Not a single human life was lost. But Elena knew this was just the beginning. "Send word to General Patel. The Empire will respond to this with everything they have." It's time for Phase 2. On Earth, Maya Patel received the news with grim satisfaction. The Empire had taken the bait, committed forces to what they thought would be an easy victory. Now they would have to respond to this humiliation, and respond with overwhelming force. All Prometheus sites. This is General Patel. Phase 2 is now active. I repeat, Phase 2 is active. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden strength continued to emerge. Quantum reactors powered up throughout the asteroid belt, activating defensive grids that could reshape space itself. Beneath Europa's ice, massive factories that had been producing advanced weapons for decades increased their output. The Empire's response was swift and furious. Within hours, their long-range sensors detected massive fleet movements. Not hundreds of ships, but thousands, all converging on the Sol system. In her Himalayan command center, Maya watched the incoming fleet signatures with calm determination. They're committed now. All their forces, all their pride, focused on crushing us completely. Dr. Chen, now fully briefed on Project Prometheus, stood beside her. They still don't understand what they're dealing with, do they? No, Maya replied. They think this is about ships and weapons. They don't realize that humanity's greatest weapon has always been our ability to adapt, to take our adversary's strength and turn it against them. The displays showed the Empire's fleet approaching at faster than light speeds, their numbers growing by the hour. They would arrive in less than 2 days, bringing with them enough firepower to reduce entire planets to ash. But humanity was ready. 3 decades of preparation, of hidden advancement, of learning and adapting and building in secret, were about to pay off. The Empire thought they were coming to crush a rebellion. Instead, they were about to witness the full unleashing of humanity's potential. As Maya watched the approaching fleet signatures, she thought about all the species that had fallen to the Empire's might. How many of them could have resisted if they'd had the warning humanity received? How many could have survived if they'd had the chance to prepare? "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "The Empire is coming with everything they have. It's time to show them everything we've got." The breaking point had arrived. The real war was about to begin. Continued in Part 4. Humanity Unleashed. Humanity Unleashed. The Empire's vast armada arrived at the edge of the solar system like a storm of crystalline lightning. 5,000 ships strong, their fleet filled the void with deadly purpose. At their center, a massive command vessel pulsed with enough energy to shatter worlds. Admiral Xarel, Supreme Commander of the Nexus Empire's punitive force, broadcast his message across all frequencies. "Humanity, your resistance ends now. Surrender, and we will be merciful. Resist, and we will reduce your worlds to cosmic dust." In response, a single transmission emanated from Earth, General Maya Patel's voice carried across the void, calm and assured. "You still don't understand what humanity is, do you, Admiral? Allow us to demonstrate." At that moment, space itself seemed to twist. Throughout the solar system, quantum fields that had been carefully hidden for decades activated simultaneously. The Empire's fleet found their advanced sensors suddenly blind, their faster-than-light communications corrupted by forces they couldn't comprehend. All Prometheus units, Maya broadcast on their secure quantum network, execute Operation Thunderbolt. From dimensional pockets scattered across the solar system, humanity's true fleet emerged. Not the primitive ships the Empire had expected, but vessels that represented the pinnacle of 30 years of hidden advancement. Their hulls, crafted from metamaterials that absorbed both energy and light, made them appear as voids in space. Dr. Chen, monitoring from the Lunar Quantum Observatory, watched in awe as humanity's full military might was finally revealed. "My God," she whispered, "how many ships did we build?" 8,000. Maya responded through their quantum link, plus another 2,000 in reserve. The Empire thought they were coming to crush insects. Instead, they're facing an opponent who's been studying their every weakness for 3 decades. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries to come. Humanity's ships moved with impossible precision, their quantum drives allowing them to appear and disappear at will. Their weapons didn't just destroy the Empire's vessels, they unraveled the very forces holding them together. Admiral Katarl watched in horror as his fleet's formation crumbled. "Impossible. Your species couldn't have developed this level of technology. You were primitive just decades ago." "No, Admiral," Maya replied. "We showed you what we wanted you to see. While you saw a young species barely reaching for the stars, we were building something far greater. Your own arrogance blinded you to the possibility that we could be more than what we appeared to be." Humanity's quantum weapons tore through the Empire's defenses like they didn't exist. Ships that had conquered countless worlds found themselves helpless against technology that had been specifically designed to counter their every advantage. The Empire's massive command vessel, their final trump card, powered up its planet-killer weapon. But before it could fire, it found itself encased in a quantum field that turned its own energy back upon itself. "Fascinating, isn't it?" Dr. Foster's voice cut through the Empire's communications. "We didn't just study your technology. We transcended it. Every weapon you developed, every defense you created, we found a way to turn it against you." Within hours, the battle was over. The mighty armada of the Nexus Empire lay in ruins, their surviving ships either captured or fleeing into deep space. Humanity had not just survived. They had achieved a victory so complete it would reshape the galaxy's power structure. Maya stood in her command center, watching the final statistics of the battle scroll across her display. Humanity's losses had been minimal, their preparation and superior technology ensuring a level of dominance the Empire had never imagined possible. "Send word to all colonies and outposts," she ordered. "The immediate threat is over, but our work is just beginning." Because Maya knew that this victory, as complete as it was, represented more than just humanity's survival. It represented a fundamental shift in the galaxy's balance of power. The species that the Empire had dismissed as primitive had just proven themselves to be anything but. The question now was, what would humanity do with this power? Continued in Part 5. Legacy of Stars. Legacy of Stars. 1 year after humanity's victory over the Nexus Empire, the galaxy had changed in ways few could have imagined. The crystalline spires of the former imperial capital now housed a different kind of gathering, representatives from 100 species, all meeting to forge a new future. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, addressing the assembled delegates. The same chamber where the Empire had once plotted conquests now served as the headquarters for the Galactic Cooperative, a new organization dedicated to mutual defense and scientific advancement. "The Empire's fall taught us all a crucial lesson," she began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast hall. "True strength lies not in domination, but in adaptation. Not in conquest, but in cooperation. Behind her, General Maya Patel and Dr. Foster watched with quiet satisfaction. The revelation of humanity's true technological capabilities had sent shockwaves through galactic society. But it was what they did with that power that truly surprised everyone. Instead of establishing their own empire, humanity had reached out to the species previously subjugated by the Nexus Empire. They shared their quantum technology, their defensive systems, their medical advancements, but always with safeguards to prevent their misuse. "We remember what it was like to feel vulnerable," Maya had explained to the first gathering of freed worlds. "We won't replace one empire with another. Instead, we'll help you build the strength to ensure no one can ever subjugate you again." The Empire's surviving leadership, now facing trial for their crimes against sentient species, couldn't comprehend humanity's choices. "You have the power to rule," former Admiral Karel had protested during his testimony. "Why squander it on lesser species?" Dr. Foster had simply smiled. "That thinking is exactly why your empire fell. True power isn't about ruling others. It's about lifting them up. Every species has potential, if given the chance to reach for it." Now, a year later, that philosophy was bearing fruit. The former empire's territories had been transformed. Where there had been subjugated colonies, there were now thriving independent worlds. Where there had been military installations, there were now research centers and diplomatic outposts. Humanity's ships still patrolled the stars, but as peacekeepers rather than conquerors. The quantum technology that had won the war now powered a network of instantaneous communication and transportation that connected the galaxy like never before. "We stand at a crossroads," Sarah continued her address. "The age of empires is over. Before us lies the opportunity to build something greater, a galaxy where strength comes from cooperation, where advancement comes from sharing knowledge, where security comes from mutual support." In Earth's Himalayan Command Center, now serving as a training facility for defensive forces from dozens of worlds, Commander Elena Santos watched the broadcast with pride. The Empire had feared humanity's potential for violence, never understanding that their true strength lay in their capacity for innovation and adaptation. "The stars are not our birthright to rule," Sarah's voice resonated through the chamber. "They are our responsibility to protect and nurture. The legacy we leave should not be one of conquest, but of contribution." Maya stepped forward to join her at the podium. "A year ago, we proved that humanity could win a war. Today, we prove something far more important, that we can build a peace." The applause that filled the chamber wasn't just from the assembled delegates. Across thousands of worlds, billions of beings watched and listened. They had seen humanity unleash devastating power against the Empire. Now they watched as that same species worked tirelessly to ensure such power would never be needed again. In the depths of space, Earth's advanced ships continued their patrols. But they carried more than weapons now. They carried hope. Hope for a future where strength meant more than just the ability to destroy, where power meant more than just the capacity to dominate. The Empire had thought they were dealing with primitive beings barely worth noticing. Instead, they had awakened something far more powerful, humanity's capacity to imagine a better future and work tirelessly to achieve it. As Sarah looked out over the assembled delegates, she smiled. The stars above no longer seemed cold and distant. They were bright with possibility, with potential, with promise. The legacy of humanity's victory wouldn't be measured in ships destroyed or territories conquered. It would be measured in worlds freed, in species uplifted, in a galaxy transformed. The story of humanity's rise to power was over. The story of what they would do with that power was just beginning. The end.